All right, guys. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the C-List Villains, your cultivators of the comic culture. As you can see, it's just me tonight. I can't. I don't know. I think Red fell asleep. To be honest with you, I know I hit him up a little later than I usually do. I've been busy at work, so either he's working or he might have fallen asleep, and that's my fault. So I'm just gonna do a solo show tonight. Um, I'll make it quick. I don't want to do an Acolyte review because Red's not here. So I'll just kind of talk about a few other things here tonight. How's everyone doing tonight? Hey, Miss So, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think he did fall asleep. I don't know where he's at. And Luke and Eman, they've been pretty busy with their own, uh, you know, personal stuff. So it's been hard to get us all together on one show these days. But don't worry. At some point, we'll reunite. But thanks for tuning in, Miss So. If you've got any topics that you want us to cover, please let me know, and I'll definitely talk about it. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to do a little bit of a review on something that's a little old, but I've been revisiting lately. And lately, I've been reading, or rereading, I should say, the Hawkeye by Matt Fraction. So here is the first volume. If you buy the small trades, there's actually 4 volumes. So here's the first one. Here is the second one, third, and the fourth. So I've been rereading this book, and I've got to say, this book holds up. I don't know if anyone out there has read this this run, but when it first came out, it was a really big hit. It was very different than your normal superhero type of book, type of story. It's essentially Hawkeye, uh, not really doing the Avengers stuff, but doing more so of the, I guess you could say, street level crime fighting. Basically, the main thing is he's taking care of an apartment complex. He's the superintendent and the owner of a building, and he's pretty much defending that building from some mobsters. And I would have to say it's a really good read for those who have not read this run. I don't want to get into too much more of the detail of the story. I've given you guys pretty much the gist of it. So I think for anyone who's interested in a Hawkeye story that's not so much all about the Avengers, but more of a grounded street level crime fighting type of book, I highly suggest reading this. Again, it is the Hawkeye trade by Matt Fraction. Anyways, I also wanted to bring up something that I've been thinking about recently. I've seen a couple reviews on it, and it's revisiting an old anime that's about 30 years old called Ninja Scroll. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it's essentially an old. The anime is about 30 years old, and it's basically this one. I guess you could say wandering samurai who has to defeat 8 devils. Yeah, so the 30th anniversary is coming up, and I just saw that they are going to re-release the movie in theaters. So I'm actually gonna plan on watching it. I believe it's gonna come out in September. So I would say for anyone who's a big anime fan, I would say go and watch it. I was actually watching someone on YouTube just recently talking about Ninja Scroll, and the best way to put it is, if you're a fan of filmmaking, fans of filmmakers, fans of films are usually fans of Akira, right? But if you're a fan of anime, then you've got to watch Ninja Scroll if you have not watched it ever before. Um, and yes, Miss So, it is going to come out in theaters. I believe they're re-releasing it again in September. If you go online to YouTube, there's actually a teaser trailer for what was supposed to be Ninja Scroll 2. From my understanding, the same production company that did the first one, they did uh, a teaser trailer for a sequel, but for some reason, the sequel never came out. And I'm like sweating for some reason. I think because of the, the lighting here. Anyways, so yeah, if you guys get the chance in September, check out Ninja Scroll. Here, I'm going to go ahead and type it here in the banner. Ninja Scroll. And so there's a theater not too far from me that used to feature an anime movie once a month. You know what? I would love for one of my theaters out here, one of my local theaters, to do that. I actually think that like there should be more theaters that play old movies. I know that back in the day that was a thing where like, certain theaters like midday they would show an old movie, and I think that's one way that like theaters can. From my understanding, a lot of theaters are losing money these days because they're just not making a lot of money. Because I mean, first of all, it costs a lot of money to go to the theater, right? So I think one way to generate money is for them to pretty much do like old school releases and maybe half the price of a ticket. We used to have a smaller theater that did that. They showed those stuff every week. Yeah, I mean, they should bring back that type of those types of showings. So, anyways, yeah, Ninja Scroll. Go ahead and check that out. Miss So, what else you got? You got anything? Ask me any sort of questions you want. It's just me tonight. Um, what else can I bring up here? There was another thing I wanted to show you guys, but I lost my train of thought here. Yeah, you're right. No one is going anymore. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys something here. With the Deadpool movie coming out, July 26th. That's actually my birthday. But for those who are real big, who've never really dived into any Deadpool books, what's my favorite manga anime? I just talked about it. My favorite anime is definitely Ninja Scroll. Um, I actually have never read any mangas before. It's kind of funny that you asked me that question because I've never read any. Although the funny thing is, when you compare the sales of mangas to comic books, manga sales blow comic books away by a large amount, and it's kind of sad to hear that because you would think that the market share for comic books would be as close to how manga sales are, but it's not. It's not even close, and I think part of the reason is the reason why mangas sell so well is because there's a finite ending to each manga. Whereas with comic books, it's just never ending. Like Batman has been around for you know decades. Spider Man's been around for decades. Superman's been around for decades, and there really isn't an end to their story. Now, I think that and I know that the reason why the comic book publishers continue to do that is because that's their bread and butter. they know that those books will sell. But I also kind of feel like it would be nice if maybe they took a hiatus on some of those books. You know, it would be nice if they maybe for Spider-Man they let Peter Parker retire for just give it a year, see what happens, you know? I know that they've killed off characters like Wolverine and they brought him back. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing like these characters that we know and love to take a break and maybe have someone don the mantle. You know, I know that they've done that with Batman. They've had Dick Grayson um, don the Batman suit. I know even with Spider-Man, they've had other characters wear the Spider-Man suit. I mean, the whole clone saga was supposed to retire Peter Parker, and I guess a lot of comic book readers they didn't like that. Um, and you know, I understand. You know, it's a business, so they want to continue selling. But I think it would be nice to get a little bit of a break. Maybe try to focus their efforts on new characters. I don't know. Let me see. Unless it's older Marvel and DC, yeah, you're so. I'm so bored with Marvel and DC unless it's older. You know what? I don't know. It depends on how you say how old though, because I mean, I can't read any of the like the comic books from like the 50s and 60s. I think the earliest that I can read comic books and still gain my attention is like the 90s, really, and that's when I started reading. So back to Deadpool. So with the movie coming out, and for those who are interested in reading a Deadpool comic or a trade or anything, my suggestion would be, and I have the omnibus right here in front of me, right here, Deadpool by Joe Kelly. Now, yes, we all know Rob Liefeld and Fabian Niciema. I butchered his last name. I'm sorry about that. We all know that they are the co-creators of Deadpool. But what not a lot of people really know probably is that Joe Kelly had just as much to do with Deadpool, the character, as the creators of this of Deadpool. And the reason why I'm saying that is because although Joe Kelly didn't create Deadpool, he definitely gave Deadpool the voice that we know and love today. Prior to Joe Kelly writing this Deadpool run, Deadpool wasn't really like this wisecracking, fourth wall breaking character. He was just kind of like a regular mercenary. Yeah, I think he did make a couple wisecracks here and there, but we really get to understand the character and see his personality with the Joe Kelly run. So it is a big omnibus. This is pretty old. I don't have the sleeve with me, but it's actually pretty cool looking. Here's the front cover. Here's the back of it. And I would highly suggest anyone who wants to read some Deadpool stuff, you know, pick up the Joe Kelly run. I'll be honest with you, it's not. It's taken me a while to really get into it. I'm like maybe a little under halfway through it, but you know, it's a decent read. It's not for me personally. It's not the best read that I've had, but it's good enough to satisfy my needs when it comes to reading some Deadpool stuff. And Miss So here. I will wait several weeks to see Deadpool. I don't like busy theaters. This movie might bring in good crowds. Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it. Probably at least for another week or two after it releases. I'm patient enough to wait, and I'm not someone who wants to watch it now because I don't want to get spoiled. No, that's not me. I mean, the moment the movie comes out and there's leaks online, I'll probably try to look for it. I'm fine with not being surprised and knowing what happens. I've done it before in the past. Oh yeah, Miss O, you love omnibus collections. Well, I'd like to hear what you have. If you've got any recommendations, please let us know. Um, I'm always open to reading more omnibuses. I've actually started to grow a collection of trade paperbacks. I don't have too many omnibuses, but this Deadpool one is the first one. But I think I'm going to start buying more and more omnibuses and probably liquidating more of my comic books. I'll probably keep only certain runs that I've been that I'm a fan of rereading. Same, I don't mind waiting. I'm hoping Lady Deadpool will be in it. Well, I believe there was a small little like split second of a character that people are assuming is going to be Lady Deadpool. There's been some talks that it's going to be Ryan Reynolds' wife, and there's also been talks that it could be what's the singer, Taylor Swift. So, who knows who it's going to be, right? I've read a lot of internet rumors about the movie. I've heard that there's going to be an epic fight between Wolverine and Hulk. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, if you've seen the trailers, the newest trailers, that Sabretooth is in it, so they're revisiting that. I wouldn't mind seeing the Liev Schreiber Sabretooth. I always liked that character as well. Miss So is saying I'd be cool with Blake playing her character. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't mind if it's her. It wouldn't surprise me a whole lot if they bring her in. Obviously, there was a lot of rumors that Taylor Swift was going to be in it playing Dazzler, and a lot of people are saying that that's not true. I think they've outright said that it's not true, but I mean, they also said that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were not going to be in Spider-Man, but obviously we know that that's not true. That all happened. So yeah, I got nothing else for you guys tonight. Like I said, I think Red fell asleep, so I know I had scheduled a show, so I wanted to come on, let you guys know that we weren't here and that we didn't forget about you guys. Other than that, guys, I got really nothing else to show to talk about. I'm hoping that we can come back next week with Red. I'll even try to hit him up tomorrow and see if maybe we can do a quick episode tomorrow, depending on his schedule. Yeah, Miss So. Yeah, as far as Taylor Swift, I love Dazzler too. Would be cool to see her on the big screen one day. Well, I mean, Taylor Swift has been in movies before. There was one that came out like I think 2 years ago. It had I think Margot Robbie was in the movie. She was in it. She was in it for maybe about a quarter of the movie, but she dies in the movie though. Oh yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in, Miss So. For all of those who are tuning in, thanks for joining us, albeit so briefly. I'm hoping that I can get a hold of Red. Maybe we can get another episode in this week. If not, I will try and see if he can come on next week. But other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. Peace out. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Sealess Villains Podcast, your cultivators of the comic culture. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and email us at sealessvillains@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail or text us at 209-975-7597. Be sure to join Luke Week's Facebook group, Rare Keys and First Appearance Comics. And you can follow us on our 2 Instagram accounts, Sealess Villains
and C-List Villains Podcast. Lastly, follow the villains on their separate IG accounts. At Luke Weeks, at C-List Villainous Red, at C-List E-Man, and I am at AJ the Comic Collector. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next episode.